After being diagnosed with cancer, I beat up the usually cool female CEO and said arrogantly, "Whoever falls in love with this crappy class can take over. I will be the boss tonight." But the next morning, the doctor called to inform me that it was a misdiagnosis. Looking at Liu Run, who was still sleeping, I wanted to cry but had no tears. I packed my luggage and ran away overnight. Later, she blocked me at the airport, her eyes deep. Want to run away after sleeping? It's not that easy. When I received the doctor's call, I was working overtime in the company. His tone was heavy and concise. "Unfortunately, it's brain cancer. There are only 3 months at most." I was thinking about whether to send him the book 3 Sentences to Warm Him All Day, a guide to high emotional intelligence on the table. And suddenly I realized that the documents in my hand fell to the ground and I couldn't hear anything. When I work overtime, I always comfort myself. If I can't finish the work, I will do it tomorrow. If I'm lucky, I won't have to do it tomorrow. Who would have thought that my words would come true and I would actually die? I really want to go back and slap myself in the face. At this time, Liu Run called me at an inopportune time. "There is a dinner party tonight. You go with me." It was a businesslike matter without any emotion. In the past, I would have agreed immediately. After all, money is hard to earn, shit is hard to eat, and I am hard to live. But now, looking at the unfinished documents on the floor, I was furious and replied, "Your mother is so troublesome." I was like a cow and a horse, letting her order me around, and I didn't even have time to get the test result. Now I'm dying, and she won't let me live in peace? If she hadn't exploited me every day, maybe I could live longer. There was silence on the other end of the phone, and some people couldn't believe it. "What did you say?" I snorted coldly, and suddenly thought of a great idea and smiled. "Nothing, Miss Liu. I mean, you send me the address. I'll go to contact the car right away." How can just scolding her be enough? I have to give her a little shock from being a worker. So, for the whole night, Run opened the door and I got in the car. Run picked up the dishes and I turned the table. Run oasted, but I didn't drink. Run talked and I chatted. Looking at her face as black as the bottom of a pot, I felt very happy in my heart. She deserved it for exploiting employees on a daily basis. When the drinking party ended, it was already very late. The driver had something to do temporarily. "Please drive Liu Run home, who would be a fool not to have the opportunity to torture her at the door." So I agreed very readily. "Assistant G, help me get a bottle of water." The cold voice was a bit lazy. I looked at her through the rearview mirror. She leaned back in the seat and stared at me with squinting eyes. She has never been good at drinking. I didn't deliberately block the wine for her tonight. She should be drunk. Otherwise, she, who has always been pure and unselfish, would not be so unscrupulous at this moment. I looked away uncomfortably and took a bottle of water from the passenger seat and threw it to her. There was a red light ahead, and I stepped on the brake. There was a scream from the back seat, and I turned around to see, wow, the water splashed all over Liu Run. I tried hard to hold back my laughter and forgot to tell him. I have only been driving for 1 day, and I am good at emergency braking. It was her bad luck to run into me. She held the water, her brows knitted, her gaze at me revealed danger, and she gritted her teeth. "Jabota, you don't want to do it anymore, right?" The indicator light turned green. I started the car and turned my back to Run. "Yeah, I don't want to do it a long time ago. Whoever falls in love with this crappy class can join. I want to be the boss tonight." So I turned the car around and drove directly to the nearest hotel. I didn't care if she was willing or not. I couldn't jump out of the car. I have lived for 26 years and have never had a girlfriend. She has exploited me for so many years, so what's wrong with letting me sleep with her? I'm going to die anyway. What's there to be afraid of? What's more, she has fair skin, beautiful face, long legs, and a very pleasing face. It's not a loss for me to sleep with her, okay? Thinking of this, I stepped on the accelerator and drove faster. After parking the car and turning off the engine, Liu Run had already staggered out of the car and walked into the hotel. Seeing that she was struggling to walk, I cursed her inwardly as a drunkard, quickened my pace, and pulled her eye to lead her into the hotel. As soon as the door was locked, Liu Run fell on the bed. I took a deep breath. and the moment my lips were about to touch hers, Liu Ruyan suddenly opened her eyes, grabbed my hand, and her voice was hoarse from the alcohol. Really don't want to do it anymore. I backhanded her and slapped her in the face. The force was not strong, but it was enough to daze her for a while. I was so busy having a seizure that I forgot to slap you. Find out who is on top now. You can't tell the difference between the big and small kings after drinking a little, right? Generally, those who say this are domineering CEOs, but I'm different. I'm a domineering pauper. The barefoot are not afraid of the ones wearing shoes. Liu Ruyan's eyes were deep, but her ears were red. She sneered for a while and said, okay. I snorted coldly, not forgetting to tease her. Boss Liu, I see your clothes are wet. Do you want me to help you take them off? Liu Ruyan looked down at me without saying a word. I hate her dead look the most. I glared at her, took off her clothes neatly, and then closed my eyes and kissed her. The moment we touched, I took a breath. I didn't expect Liu Ruyan to be hard-mouthed, but her lips were so soft. I tried to go deeper, but because of my lack of experience, I was tired and panting after a while, and rested on her shoulder. Do you need help? What help? I was not happy. If you don't know how, I can't eat you step by step. My heart was pounding, and I had some random thoughts in my head. I looked at her slender fingers and understood what she meant almost instantly. Just when I was about to refuse, Liu Ruyan turned over, put her palm on my back, slowly moved down, and then took the initiative to kiss my lips. After a while, I personally experienced Liu Ruyan's hand-in-hand teaching and was speechless. The next morning, I was awakened by the ringing of the phone. Liu Ruyan was still sleeping, and I supported my sore body to answer the phone. On the other end of the phone, the doctor apologized repeatedly, saying that there was a 72-year-old patient named Jibo yesterday, and he mixed up the results of our examination. I just had a headache because of the recent overtime pressure, not brain cancer. Before the end of the call, the doctor kindly wished me never to die. But I looked at Liu Ruyan, who was still sleeping on the bed, and recalled that she forced me to open my eyes last night and told me who is the king. I could have survived, but I seem to have killed myself. If Liu Ruyan woke up and found that I slept with her while she was drunk, wouldn't she kill me? After thinking it over again and again, I decided to run away first, one step at a time. If it doesn't work, I'll die half a step. So I tiptoed to clean up the traces and quietly left the hotel. After returning home, I took a long vacation, bought a plane ticket to another province, packed a few clothes, and rushed to the airport. On the way, the phone rang. I glanced at the call reminder and was almost scared to death. Liu Ruyan is really an inexhaustible bull. She was busy until midnight last night and woke up so early today. Isn't she tired? I made up my mind and hung up the phone. The next second, the phone rang again. I hung up again, and she called again. After several rounds, the driver in front couldn't stand it anymore. Hey, couples should talk it over nicely. Don't be impulsive. My scalp numbed when I heard it, and I retorted, we are not lovers, we are enemies. Capitalists and working people are naturally opposed. While talking, my hand slipped and I accidentally connected the phone. I was horrified and just wanted to hang up when a low and hoarse voice came from the other side. Assistant G, where are you? It was crisp and emotional, and she called me Assistant J. I almost immediately concluded that she must have blacked out last night and didn't remember what happened. Otherwise, she wouldn't have such a calm, indifferent attitude. Fortunately, the boat has passed through thousands of mountains. I replied, relax, like Boss Liu. I haven't been feeling well recently. I'm going to travel and relax. I'm on the way to the airport now. There was silence on the other side, and a suppressed sneer came. Jiboda, I want to run away after sleeping, right? My eyes went dark. It's over. It's over. I pretended to be calm. Boss Liu, what do you mean? Liu Ruyan almost gritted her teeth. Jiboda, do you want me to repeat what you said last night? Last night, Liu Ruyan forced me to say, I hurriedly interrupted her. Boss Liu, do you believe that you were actually dreaming last night? Liu Ruyan was speechless for a while. I was drunk, not dead. What's more, I checked the hotel surveillance. My eyes went dark again and again. She was so smart. I gave up. Anyway, I'm gone. You can't catch me, Leila. After that, I turned off my phone. Fortunately, it wasn't long after I arrived at the airport that I checked my tickets. I stood in the queue and was secretly happy. Some people are thankful once they miss it, but now I have to run. But I didn't expect Liu or Yu to appear in the airport lobby at this time. She walked towards me with a smile, but the smile didn't reach her eyes. I want to run away after sleeping. It's not that easy. I didn't care at all, boss Liu. In a society ruled by law, can you still tie me back? Liu and raised her eyebrows. But did you think it through before you left? Was your salary paid on time during the leave? Can you find a better paid job after leaving? And is your balance enough for you to hide until I forget about it? I was stunned. Good guy. I was just running at the time, and I really didn't think about it. I just paid this quarter's rent some time ago. Although the balance is enough for me to go out and hide for a few days, it's too much. Go back now. I'll reimburse you for the air tickets. And added. I've already gone down the stairs, and I feel a little ungrateful. I immediately offered a flattering smile. Teacher Liu, please let me go. Boss, I'm going back to work now. And rove here by herself. I subconsciously tried to open the back door, but found that I couldn't open it no matter how hard I tried. I couldn't open it even when I turned to the other side. If the handle is broken, the repair fee will be deducted from your salary. And helped me put away my luggage. Seeing that I was struggling with the back door, she reminded me. The back door is broken, sit in the front. He was reluctant to repair the broken door. He is really a shameless person. I secretly complained, then thought that sitting in the passenger seat didn't seem to be a good idea, so I asked kindly, Boss Liu, you drank last night, can you drive now? Or I can drive. And opened the card or sneered. Don't worry, although I have approved alcohol tolerance, I won't be drunk until now, not to mention that I was not drunk at all last night, just a little. And I really can't compliment your baking skills sit in the passenger seat. I interrupted him, and and smiled playfully. Are you being picky? If you really mind, why don't you use it on my lap? I pouted. Open the card, open, muttered softly. What are you being picky about? I call it a sense of boundaries. I'm just afraid that your future boyfriend will mind. But even so quietly, it was still heard. After getting in the car, and didn't rush to drive. She lowered her head and clicked a few times on her mobile phone and put it aside. Then I received a transfer message, a full 10,000 yuan, 10 times more than my air ticket. I promised to transfer it to you. Don't say I'm stingy. She didn't look at me and started the car. Actually, think about it, she was not stingy. The salary she offers is much higher than other people in the same position. The employee benefits are also ridiculously good. Moreover, when I was working, she was not idle. She was often with me and even got up early and went to bed late than me. Realizing that I was sympathizing with Liu, I immediately slapped myself hard. Is it my turn as a worker to sympathize with those who make money? No matter how much I get, I deserve it. As if seeing my little action, and curled the corners of his lips, and I secretly glared at him. But then again, why did you chase me here, mister? What about you? Why did you do those things last night? And asked me back. Her voice is clear and she usually speaks slowly, but last night subverted my cognition. It was then that I knew that her voice could be out of control to that extent. Thinking of this, my face couldn't help but blush. Why? She asked. Instead of blaming yourself, why not bury others? It's all the doctor's fault. Anyway, a fragile little boy, can't be blamed. But I couldn't say it either. Was it because I knew I was going to die, and I wanted to discuss her before I died? I said vaguely, I'm just not thinking clearly. I'm just crazy. The work pressure is so great. Emotional stability is another price. I was afraid that she would continue to ask, what about you? You haven't answered me yet. And was silent for a moment. If you leave, the assistant office will have more work pressure, and it will take me time to adapt. What do you think? She said that this company can make money without anyone, but I didn't agree to take a day off. It can be seen that she is more or less reluctant to mention what happened last night. I smiled and couldn't help but breathe a sigh of relief. That's good. We are all adults. Last night was just an accident. Just forget it. Liu are you why? An's tone became cold, with a slight mockery. I'm not as careless as you. Liu are you why? And ignored me. Not only did she reduce my workload, but in the few work exchanges every day, she would never use two words instead of one. I was depressed. It was hard not to feel that she was preparing to fire me. Who knows if she was going to use money to lower my vigilance first, and then retaliate against me with a big one. I decided to take some measures. I submitted several resumes online in the afternoon, ready to leave as soon as I found the next job. It is better to resign than to be fired. Even in the workplace, you have to live decently. As the end of the get-off workday approached, I was bored and sat at my workstation pulling money trees. I really like going to work. It feels like I am in prison. I have never found it so difficult. At this time, my father called. Ada, are you busy recently? What are you busy with? Busy with nonsense. I replied casually. Oh, I knew you were not busy. My dad was smiling. I had a bad feeling, and sure enough, the next sentence was, your dad, I found a boy on a dating app, and we got along pretty well. I was shocked. Does my mom know about you? What are you talking about, you little bastard? I found him for you. We've talked to him, and he's a nice guy, and he works near your company. You can meet him when you're free. Ever since my dad retired, he's been thinking about arranging a blind date for me. HGS tried all kinds of methods, such as leaving comments in the comment section for a blind date and inviting people on social software. I was busy with work before and had no time for blind dates, but today he has the chance. Dad, I don't want to go on a blind date, I said helplessly. I've already made an appointment for you. I'll send you the address later. Go ahead. My dad hung up the phone without giving me a chance to refuse. I sighed, and when I came to my senses, I had already plucked several leaves off the money tree. Oh no, this tree was calculated by Mr. Liu, and the position of the tree was very particular, and I didn't know if losing a few leaves would have an impact. What did you do to my money tree? I was startled and turned around to find Liu Rui standing behind me. I didn't know how long she'd been there. I felt guilty and hid the leaves behind me. Her eyes were arch and her voice was cold and magnetic. My dad asked someone to calculate the number of leaves on this tree, and you made it like this. You are punished to count the number of leaves on the money trees in the office. If you can't count them before 9 o'clock in the evening, your bonus will be deducted. I almost cursed. It's just few leaves. What's the big deal? The office is filled with money trees like a formation. How can she count them? And she wants to deduct money from me. She wants to exploit me a little more before I leave. It doesn't matter, just lie. I don't believe she really counted them. Don't think about lying. My dad also asked someone to count the number of leaves, and someone takes care of it every day. Are all rich people so boring? I cursed in my heart, and after Liu and left, I plucked a few more leaves. I plucked the boss's wealth hard and prevented him from getting rich. There are still sentence reductions in prison. Why do I have to work overtime? Thanks to Liu, I experienced the joy of donating a liver again. It was almost 8 o'clock when I finished counting the leaves, so naturally I didn't go on the blind date. I sent a message to the other party to express my apology, and the other party was very easy to talk to and said that we can make an appointment next time. It was already dark. I packed up my things and left my workstation, and I glanced around and found that the lights in the president's office were still on. Rui and was also working overtime. I heard from my colleagues that she seemed to work overtime frequently these days. I thought about it, put down my bag, washed the fruit, made tea, and knocked on the office door. Do you think I am considerate of the boss's hard work of overtime? Of course not. I don't believe she can still sleep if she drinks tea at night. Let her be bald. And the fruits are not ordinary fruits. They are mulberries and blueberries, fruits that will make people's mouths black. Liu was leaning on the office chair, looking tired, with her slender fingers pressing on her temples. Every movement seemed to be carefully designed, and she looked like she was seducing people. As if she noticed my gaze, she restrained her expression and looked up at me. What's wrong? I came back to my senses and put the fruit plate and tea on the table. Mister, thank you for your overtime work. I'll serve you tea and fruit. Have you finished counting the leaves? I got angry when I mentioned this, but I still maintained the professional smile of a worker. I have counted them. There are 666 leaves in total. This number is so smooth that I doubt myself, so I counted them several times. You? Why nodded. Her eyes swept across the plate of fruit, and finally her eyes fell on the cup of tea. Boss Liu, did I count correctly? She picked up the tea on the table and took a sip. It should be correct. I haven't counted it. I was shocked. Who would count this for no reason? You are just stupid. Liu and curled her lips. A barely perceptible tenderness flashed across her eyes, but she was unforgiving in her words. I wondered if I had seen it wrong this tea. Liu and took another sip, frowned, and seemed to be thinking about something. My thoughts were pulled back, and I was secretly happy I chose Oriental leaves for this tea. If she hasn't tasted the bitterness of life, she should always give her some other bitterness to taste. What's wrong? I asked deliberately. It's a bit sweet. She answered almost immediately. How can it be sweet? Did I hallucinate from working overtime? Under my incredible gaze, Liu took out a box from the drawer next to her and handed it to me. As a reward for you, it's Tianxiangshi's pastries. I've eaten it a few times before. It's delicious, but the price is higher than my blood pressure, so I almost never buy it. A reward for me. Don't regret it if you can't sleep tonight. I was stunned and met her eyes. That look was straightforward and undisguised, and it made me hot. There was no expression on her face, but I felt a clear sense of oppression. Hallucinations are contagious from person to person. I was stunned and met her eyes. That look was straightforward and undisguised, and it made me hot. There was no expression on her face, but I felt a clear sense of oppression. Hallucinations are contagious from person to person. I was like a frightened bird, almost snatching the cake and accidentally touching our fingers. And acted as if nothing had happened, retracted her hand, and wiped her fingertips inadvertently. Her fingertips are very long and her hands are very beautiful. I can't help but think of that night. She was also so slow and comfortable messing with me, and her eyes were so aggressive. My heart was beating like thunder for a moment, and and chuckled in her throat. Remember, you'd better go downstairs quickly. The driver's already waiting as a boss. I don't make sense for overtime employees to go home by themselves. She added, she does have this habit. Every time I accompanied her to work overtime before, I always took her car home, which saved me a lot of transportation fees. Or if you want to stay here with me to work overtime, I don't mind. No, I don't want to. Let's stop eating today's bitterness. Coming out of the office, I felt like I was burned, and it took a long time to calm down. But I still couldn't figure it out, so I picked up the remaining Oriental leaves and swallowed them. So bitter. How can I taste sweet? Sure enough, people still can't work overtime, and their taste buds are all over the place. The driver Xiao Wang was waiting downstairs, but the car looked a little familiar, as if Liu and drove this car when she came to the airport to block me that day. Seeing Xiao Wang opening the rear door very skillfully, I got and chatted with him casually. Xiao Wan, is this door fixed? Xiao Wan looked puzzled. The door has never broken. I was shocked. Boss, you said it was broken last time. Xiao Wan understood. It must be broken, boss. You must have his reason. After waking up, I felt refreshed all over. I secretly said that it was not good. I really overslept. I drank half a bottle of tea yesterday, and I didn't expect it to be so strong. I fell asleep in the second half of the night. When I rushed to the company, I was already half an hour late. I lost my full attendance award. I wanted to cry, but had no tears. What's wrong, Ada? Are you in a bad mood? My colleague gasped me when he saw me in a listless state. I was late and lost my full attendance award. I said truthfully. A document just issued this morning said that in order to show sympathy to employees, there will be one chance to be late every month in the future. I climbed up from the table. Really? No bonus deduction. My colleague nodded. No, I am sensitive and suspicious by nature, and I am suitable to be a bossy. Feel that something is wrong when I am a little happier. And sent this notice at such a timely moment. What is she trying to do? But I have another characteristic, that is, I am lazy. If I can't figure it out, I will stop thinking about it. After a few days, the resume I submitted before finally got a result. The name of the HR looked familiar, Shenhuochu Harasas. When I entered the phone number, I found out that he was the blind date that my mother had shaken for me before. After chatting for a while, he asked me to have lunch with him during lunch break today and find a quiet place to talk about work after lunch. It is really inconvenient to ask for leave, and I missed his appointment before, so I agreed. At noon, we made an appointment at a restaurant near the company. My mother was right. Shenhu is really a good person, and it is interesting to chat with him, and it won't make people uncomfortable. I made it clear to him that I didn't want a blind date, and I came to this meal just to apologize for missing the appointment last time. He also expressed his understanding and said that we can still be friends in the future. After dinner, we went to a cafe and talked about work, and the communication was very smooth. Finally, he asked me, I'm very satisfied with you here. What do you think? The salary and benefits are reasonable. I had nothing else to say and nodded, satisfied. Are you satisfied after meeting once? A familiar voice came from behind me. Why is Liu? Are you why in here? She dragged a chair, sat next to me, and stared at me. Shenhu Chu opposite was furious and said angrily, do you know what he likes to eat? Do you know that he likes to kick people when he sleeps? Do you know that he doesn't recognize people when he pulls up his pants? You don't understand him at all. Hearing that he was getting more and more outrageous, I quickly stood up and covered his mouth. Please, don't say it. No, I want to say it. He works overtime every day to reduce your workload, but you are so good. You go to date someone else when you have free time, right? I am so miserable and you two are still happy? He can be with you after only meeting you once. Why can't I? Who am I? Is it my bad luck? In the coffee shop, more and more people noticed us, and I wanted to find a crack in the ground to crawl into. It was too embarrassing. I could only bite the bullet and apologize to Shen Yuchu, covering my face with one hand and Liu Yuyan's face with the other, and out of the coffee shop. After finally dragging Liu Yuyan out, I was exhausted and panting. I glanced towards the coffee shop and breathed a sigh of relief when I found that no one was paying attention to us. Are you okay? What's wrong with you in the middle of the day? Liu Yuyan's eyes were fierce and her face was as cold as ice. I hadn't met your mother before. I would have thought that woman just now was your mother. Are you satisfied with this blind date? You are really hungry. I was already full of anger, and now she was wrong. I felt a blockage in my heart and was inexplicably upset. No, I tried to explain for Shen Yuchu, but Liu Yuyan interrupted me with a sullen face. Do you like old women so much? What do you want? Because he can't stay with you for long? Because he has poor physical strength? Or because he will ask you his life soon? I stomped my feet in anger and my temples with I saw you, are you? Why Anne's fierce eyes gradually reddened. Jiboda, if you continue to. How can you look down on me? I am younger, more handsome, and richer than him, right? Why can he do it, but I can't? I was confused and immediately stopped talking. Are you crying? Liu Yuyan turned her head away and said unhappily, I'm not crying. It's just that the thought of you together is offensive. Although what she said was a bit nonsensical, I still felt it necessary to explain to her I haven't had a blind date with him, nor have I been with him. When I said I was satisfied, I didn't mean I was satisfied with him as a person. As for you saying that I think you are inferior, why do you think I think you are inferior? Liu Yuyan was stunned and a little embarrassed, but her own slowed down. She ignored my question and asked me, then what are you talking about? Thinking that she worked overtime every day to reduce my burden, I was petty and thought that she was looking for an opportunity to make things difficult for me. How hurtful would it be to say that? So after thinking it over, I told her the truth in a concise manner. I sent my resume to their company and he came for the interview. My brows, which had just relaxed, wrinkled again at this moment. Yuyan looked surprised and looked at me, hesitant to speak. You don't want me anymore. I didn't know what to say either. Such a grown-up. I wouldn't dare to take even if he dared to div me. Okay, don't say anything more. Liu Yuyan's tone was on the verge of collapse. She turned around and left, and before leaving, she said coldly, let's do this for now. I'll think of a way. I was left alone in the wind. When I got home at night, my head was in a mess, and I couldn't figure out the clues after thinking about it. My good brother came to my house, and I told him about it. You mean she thought you were on a blind date and went to make a scene? The brother asked. Yeah, she must have heard me talking to my dad on the phone. That's why she thought so. Hugh said I hesitated and said, does she like me a little bit? When my brother heard it, he patted my head and said, you stupid guy finally got it. If she didn't like you, and why did she go all the way to the airport to keep you after you ran away? I frowned and immediately denied this point of view. That's not right? If she liked me, why didn't she confess to me after that day? What did you say to her the next morning after you slept with her? What did I say? The more he talked about me, the less confident she was. Could it be that I pissed her off? Women all want to save face. My words clearly show that I don't want to take responsibility. Even if she likes me, how could she confess at this time? No wonder Liu Rui looks like an abandoned woman today. So Ada, do you like her? I only know that when I learned that I was about to die, the first person I thought of was her. The night I was with her, I didn't have a strong sense of revenge on her, but I was very greedy for the time I spent with her when she said that today. I actually felt a little happy in my heart I should like her. I nodded, and I had already made a decision in my heart. On Monday, I chose a handsome suit. After understanding my feelings, I suddenly looked forward to going to the company. When I arrived at the office, my colleagues teased me. Today, you don't have the dead popularity you usually have at work. After a while, we soon laughed. I don't know who shouted General Yu is here, and the laughter stopped abruptly. After a while, Rui appeared at the door of the office, followed by a boy. He is tall and handsome, and his clothes and jewelry are expensive. He looks like Liu Rui. This is the new assistant, Qin Feng. Liu Rui put her arm around the boy's shoulders, and her gestures were indescribably intimate. She motioned him to stand forward. Hello, everyone, my name is Qin Feng. We will all be colleagues in the future. Please take care of me. The colleagues in the office introduced themselves one by one. When it was my turn, I felt that Liu Rui's eyes stayed on me for a few seconds, but when I looked at her, her eyes had moved away. After the introduction, Liu Rui took Qin Feng to the office. Qin Feng followed behind her, and Liu Rui looked back at him from time to time. I looked at their backs, and my heart seemed to be poured with a basin of cold water, and it was instantly cold. She never personally took the assistant to familiarize herself with the work, and she never showed such a gentle look to the boy. It turns out that what she said, think of a way, means recruiting a new assistant. Should I leave after he adapts to the work? The company's team building was planned 2 months ago, but because I was busy with a big project recently, it was postponed to this. Even Liu Rui will go to this team building. I was in a bad mood and didn't want to go, but my colleagues told me that General Manager Yu notified the employees of the assistant office the day before that they had to participate in the team building unless it was necessary. Damn it, can't I avoid Liu Rui? It's also my fault that I rejected Shen Yuchu too quickly. Now I can't leave even if I want to. On the day of the team building, I was surrounded by eight aura that even dogs had to avoid. As soon as the bus arrived, I found a seat by the window in the back row and sat down. My colleagues got on the bus one by one, and the bus was soon full, leaving only the seats next to me and in front of me reserved for the boss. Rui and Qin Feng got on the bus one after another. A former glanced around and his eyes stayed on the seat next to me, skipping the boss exclusive and sitting next to me. I turned my head to look out the window, trying to reduce my presence, but I didn't expect the person next to me to speak up and asked me in a low voice, are you avoiding me recently? I said lightly, no. Liu Rui and looked puzzled, her eyebrows clear. Then why do you run away as soon as you get off work? You are not active after get off work, and your thinking is problematic. Besides, if you are not loving with your new assistant, why are you looking for me? I said vaguely. Is there an emergency at home? But I don't, she continued. I stood up and interrupted her. I feel a little carsick. Go to the front and change seats with Qin Feng. In fact, I have taken motion sickness medicine a long time ago, and I will be fine as long as I get on the car and sleep all the time. But she sits next to me. I always feel uncomfortable. Motion sickness. Wait a minute, Liu, are you why? And grabbed my wrist with one hand and took out her mobile phone with the other hand to make a call. I subconsciously broke free and refused. No, I'll just sit in the front. Do you have someone you like? Still entangled with me, rich people are really playful. Zaihucha from the administrative department is responsible for organizing the activities of this team building. Before arriving at the resort, we started a lottery in the group, and 2 people played the game tonight. But because the organizer did not participate in the grouping, and a colleague took leave due to acute gastroenteritis and did not draw odds, the number of people was odd, and one person was destined to be left alone. Coincidentally, I was the one who was left alone, but I was also happy and comfortable. In the evening, they played tug of war in groups, and I sat next to them on date barbecue. Sai Hujie probably saw that I was lonely and suggested that I play games with him. I was afraid that he would be too busy, so I politely refused, but I couldn't stand the soft and hard nagging of my colleagues around me, so I had to agree. Before going on stage, I don't know who said in the crowd, Zaihucha seems to have a crush on Ada. I froze and looked at Zaihucha. Zaihucha blushed and changed the subject awkwardly. It's almost time to go on stage. Let's go. Forget it at worst. We won't play after this game. As soon as I got on the stage, I once again sighed that enemies meet on a narrow road. I can roll you or Ui on Kim Fang as opponents in the lottery. Could it be that I am really a human machine just to be a part of their play? I was speechless for a while, picked up the rope, and the moment I looked up, I bumped into Yu's eyes. Her dark eyes stared at me, and there was a bit of unspeakable depression in her eyes. At the referee's command, the people at both ends of the rope began to exert their strength. Not long after, I gradually felt the effort. Zaihuksha stood behind me, her body leaning forward with the rope, and the 2 of us were almost stuck together. Suddenly, I felt that the force in my hand was no longer so strong, and at the other end of the rope, I only saw Yuan with a gloomy face, loosening one hand holding the rope and looking at me eagerly. I took the opportunity to adjust my posture and force, and won the game. You won. Yuan said sullenly and left the field. I also turned around to thank Aihucha and frankly said that I would not participate in the next game. Sitting back in my original seat, I lowered my head to play with my mobile phone for a while, and a shadow was cast in front of my eyes. The person sitting next to me thought it was a colleague and didn't pay much attention. Did you feel uncomfortable riding the bus today? I was startled and looked to the side only to find that the person sitting next to me was Liu Yuan. I remember what you said. I shook my head. I slept all the way, so I'm not that dizzy. Liu Yuan nodded, her eyes not knowing where to look, and she thrust a paper bag into my hand. I brought an extra sleeping aromatherapy. It's too heavy to put in the suitcase. You can use it. I shook it. It didn't seem to be very heavy. Never mind, if you have a chance, you're a fool, thanks. After a moment of silence, I couldn't help but ask. Kim Feng seems to be very interested in prizes of this tug of war competition. Liu Yuan said him indifferently, paused and then asked, You gave up the competition on your own initiative. Does he have any objection? No objection. He always listens to me, she said in a low voice. I pouted, feeling indescribable pain in my heart. They are quite loving. I muttered softly. What? Liu Yuan didn't hear. If you didn't hear it, then you didn't hear it. I don't want to say it again. Seeing my silence, Yuan frowned slightly. I don't know if it was because the night was so dark, but I seemed to see a little melancholy in her eyes. Why do you keep mentioning him? But you, when you were on of war just now, Zaihucha was almost sticking to you, and you didn't know how to hide. If I hadn't taken the initiative to admit defeat, you too would definitely be the center of company gossip tonight. She coughed politely as if to cover up. You are my assistant. You should still be careful about your degree. In order to appease him, I have spent a lot of money. It turned out that she was afraid that my gossip would affect her, so she was really worrying too much. I straightened my back and didn't care much. Wouldn't it be better not to admit defeat? Liu Ym paused and gritted her teeth. Don't admit defeat? I'm afraid I can't help but transfers I Hucha to Africa. Is it so exaggerated? Speak of the devil at this time. Zaihucha came over with a notebook. He glanced at me, unturned his gaze to Liu and beside me. Boss Liu, there was a safety accident at the venue for tomorrow's event and it is under construction, so our department decided to choose one of the previously unsuccessful activities to organize everyone to play. Boss Liu, do you think this arrangement is okay? Liu and saw that Zaihuchi's face, which was not very good just now, became even gloomier, and her tone was not very good. Tell me, what activities are there? Zaihucha, who was not aware of the truth, did not know where she had offended the boss. She swallowed her saliva and dared not breathe. She replied to her, first of all, fishing. And thought for a moment and shook her head. This is not good. I am afraid of being fished and have a shadow. Saihucha was stunned. Then how about going horseback riding? Not good either. I was kicked and I am very scared. She looked at me every time she said a sentence. I suspected that she was playing tricks on me, but unfortunately there was no evidence. I was sweating profusely. Then how about riding a bike in the forest park? Saihucha said the last option, mumbling lie. And seemed to be thinking about something and finally nodded. This is fine. Zaihucha breathed a sigh of relief and sketched a few times on her notebook. She rolled her eyes, feeling the strange atmosphere between the and me, and hesitated to speak. Basil and frowned and interrupted him. As a colleague, it is better to use less nicknames like this. Does your family sell water pipes? So many pipes! She just called him Zaihucha, really holding a grudge. Zaihucha tried to change her words, and Liu was slightly satisfied. Zaihucha didn't dare to ask any more questions, and immediately slipped away after saying hello. And I were the only ones left, and my heart tightened, and I also wanted to slip away. Before I got up, my hand was held tightly. Let's talk. What is there to talk about? My resignation, are you? It's not like I can't leave. Is there any need to rush me to make room? Feeling annoyed, I slapped her hand away. No, I'm sleepy. I want to go back to sleep. Then I ran away in a panic. I slept too long in the car, and as expected, I suffered from insomnia at night. After tossing and turning, I finally took out the sleep-aiding aromatherapy that Liu Yin gave me, and then I gradually felt sleepy. The next morning, I planned to go out for breakfast. As soon as I went out, I found a figure at the door. It was Liu Yin. I was a little surprised. Why are you here? She looked in my direction, her eyebrows and eyes slightly stretched. Her posture was lazy, and she seemed to be in a good mood. She handed me the breakfast. I'll wait for you here. This morning's team building project is cycling. Why didn't she go to meet Kim Feng and come to my place? Liu and said and handed the breakfast to me. The warm touch spread in my palm, driving away the coldness of the early morning. Last night, Kim Feng had an urgent matter and went home. Saihucha asked those who were alone to form a team, and now we are teammates. Kim Feng has gone back, and he still wants to team up with me. He really doesn't follow the virtues of a woman. Whatever, there will be many people at that time, so we can just play our own games. But things are always unexpected. As soon as I arrived at the forest park, Liu was called away by a phone call saying that there was a problem with the company's contract and the partner had to leave in the afternoon. Liu had to go back to see it in person. Before leaving, she repeatedly reminded me pay attention to safety and not to act alone. I agreed. Due to lack of exercise, I was exhausted after riding for a while. I wanted to go back and dress. I said hello to my colleagues and turned around and walked back. As luck would have it, when I passed the corner, a small car drove over and hit me. Both sides were riding slowly, but the bicycle was not as hard as the car after all. I had no choice but to fail miserably, unswerve very painful. I crawled over to pick up the fellow on the ground and used the last bit of my strength to send a message to my brother. I was hit. Then my eyes went black and I fainted. My consciousness gradually returned, and the tip of my nose was filled with the smell of disinfectant. After finally adapting to the light, I looked around and saw you, Wyan, sitting on the sofa in the ward with her eyes closed. Didn't she go back to the company? Why is she here? Probably having heard the noise. Wyan opened her eyes and seeing me struggling to sit up. She walked towards me, avoiding my wound and helping me up. How is it? Are you feeling uncomfortable anywhere? I leaned against the head of the bed, shook my head, and answered truthfully. My legs and arms hurt a little. Me, are you? Why? And breathed a sigh of relief, then frowned again. The doctor said that you have some skin injuries and a slight concussion. You need to rest more. I remember I clearly told you to be careful before I left. Why didn't you listen? Walking back alone, have you ever thought that if the perpetrator is irresponsible and leaves you there alone, will you wait for others to collect your body? She was fierce, and my nose felt sore for no reason. You only know how to be fierce to me. Liu, are you why inside? I'm not fierce to you. You are fierce to me. I just woke up and you're teaching me a lesson. Do you have a conscience? I cried harder and harder, not caring about my face at all, with all the grievances on my face. Why Anne was speechless. She reached out to wipe the tears from my face, but she couldn't wipe them all away. So she leaned forward and kissed away my tears inch by inch. My body froze and I forgot to cry. She lowered her voice with a little unconscious tenderness. I'm just worried about you. You don't know how scared I was when you sent me a message. I shuddered and wanted to step away, but the big hand on my waist didn't give me the chance. I could only whisper, what message? Liu, are you why? And opened the chat interface to show me, wow, the message originally sent to her brother was sent to her. I was really hit in the head. Suddenly I remembered something. Now that you're back, what about the company? The partner left in the project wasn't finalized. You why? And said lightly, yeah. I was so angry that I wanted to hit her. Are you stupid? Such a big project. You can make a lot of money and you just give up. I'm not stupid. I know which is more important, you or the project. She hooked my chin and forced me to look at her. There seemed to be an undercurrent in her usually calm eyes. You are stupid. Don't you understand my feelings? My heart tightened, and I remembered her looking at me, facing King Feng's eyes. Her face darkened and she pushed her away. What about King Feng? As if she didn't expect me to mention him, Liu Yuan frowned. What does it have to do with him? I snorted coldly. Don't you like him? You dare not admit it. I tell you, a woman like you, who has no female ethics, even if you give her to me, I will definitely not want her. Liu Yuan stared at me. Her face was so dark that ink could drip out, and the blue veins on her forehead were throbbing faintly. Who told you that I like him? I laughed angrily. I personally took him to familiarize himself with the work, and kept looking back at him. Do I need others to tell me? I just bumped into you naturally. Liu Yuan's face was so dark that ink could drip out, and the blue veins on her forehead were throbbing faintly. He is my brother. I have only liked you from the beginning to the end. Did you hear me clearly? This was embarrassing, and I said weakly, no, I haven't heard that you have a younger brother. Liu Yuan said patiently, he is my aunt's child. After graduation, he got into trouble every day at home. My mother asked me to find a class for him. I happened to be short of people here, so I let him come to the company. And I didn't keep looking back at him. I was looking at you. You were dressed so handsome that day. What's wrong with me secretly taking a look at you? And said it confidently, and now it was my turn to be confused. I'll say it again, Jibota, the person I like is you, and I have liked you for a long time. I was drunk that night, but I was not unconscious. I originally planned to confess to you the next day, but you ran away when I opened my eyes and asked me to forget about that. Who you want me to complain to? I finally fooled you back, and I was worried that you would run away again. I wanted to use your job to keep you, so I reduced work cannot be left without someone to do it, so I had to work overtime to complete your work. As a result, I worked so hard for you, and you secretly found another job behind my back. She looked at me resentfully. I am wrong, so wrong. After she finished speaking, there was silence in the ward. I sat there blankly digesting what she said. It turned out that she had not changed her heart, and the person she has always liked is me. We are so stupid. We are all fools. Otherwise, how could we waste so much time on misunderstandings? Seeing that I didn't speak, Liu Yuan lowered her head dejectedly, and her voice was lowered. I'm sorry. Did I scare you? I know you don't like me. It's okay. You don't have to be responsible for me. But can you give me a chin? I didn't wait for her to finish, hugged her neck and kissed her forehead. Before she could react, I stepped back a little and looked into her eyes. There is something I want to confess to you. In fact, that I was not clear-headed that day, but because I misdiagnosed cancer and you happened to let me work overtime, I was unhappy, so I wanted to retaliate against you. At first, I didn't want to be responsible, but during this time, I saw I heart clearly, Liu, are you YN? I like you too, so I am responsible to the end. Liu, are you YN was slightly stunned, and after a long while she looked at me with a relieved smile. Fortunately, it was an accident. I kissed her from her forehead to the corner of her mouth, and Liu are you, Wyan soon took the initiative and bit my lips. I was kissed dizzy until there was a hand under the hem of my clothes. I shuddered and became much more sober. You said you liked me a long time ago, so why do you ask me to work overtime every day? Thinking of everything that happened before, I was a little indignant and pinched her. Ryan felt pain, smiled, and came up to me with a serious face. I was alone for a long time before. I didn't know how to like. I just wanted to stay with you for a while. It's different now. I pushed him away. What's different? With you, I am no longer alone. At Ryan's strong request, I rested at home for a whole week before returning to work at the company. After lunch and returning to the office, King Feng almost immediately came to me and said a grieved lie. Good brother-in-law, you don't know how crazy my sister is. It turned out that Liu Wyan lost the tug-of-war game that night and Qin Feng kept making a fuss. Liu Wyan spent a lot of money to appease him. The prizes of the game were not expensive, and there was no guarantee of winning. Qin Feng got the advantage, but he didn't expect that Liu and would never do a business that would lose money. She turned around and told his parents that he had a girlfriend from society. Qin Feng was recalled overnight and was scolded for several days. This led to Liu and being left alone to team up with me the next day. Now that I think about it, she really has sinister intentions. Brother-in-law, this bitch is vindictive. You have to be careful. Don't let her take advantage of you easily, remember? Suddenly there was a voice at the door, and Qin Feng ran away. And looked at him coldly until he disappeared from her sight, then turned to me, frowning slightly. Don't listen to him. I thought it was funny and teased her. What she said is the fact. Fake he just hasn't been busy with work recently, so he has the energy to gossip about me. Still have to send him on a business trip. I reacted for a while and laughed out loud. Ryan's eyes were heavy and she slapped me on the forehead with a palm, dragging me away in anger. It's lunch break. Come to my office to rest. I blushed and evaded. I'm not sleepy. I don't need to rest. And didn't even turn her head. Come and accompany me even if you're not sleepy. And still had some work to finish. She brought the tablet, poured me a glass of water, and asked me to sit on the sofa to watch TV. After watching an episode, I was bored and started to study the camera function of the tablet. I accidentally glanced at the album and found a screenshot of a forum. A person with the nickname Stubborn asked a question. The person I liked took the initiative to sleep with me, but ran away the next morning and asked me to forget about it. Why is that? The most popular answer in the commentary. It must be because your skills are too bad and the boy's experience is too bad, so he is anxious to cut off his relationship with you. No way, he has no experience, and I said I would teach him step by step. A moment of silence for you, sister. I guess the boys and brothers have been laughing at you in private for a long time. I suppressed the upward curve of my mouth, took out my mobile phone and searched for the account on the website. After searching for a long time, the account was found, but the post was gone. I can imagine that when and deleted the post, the surface was calm, but in fact it was broken. What are you doing? And appeared behind me silently, staring me and splashing water all over me. She squinted her eyes and stared at the screen. Her narrow and cold eyes revealed danger. I pretended to be nothing and asked her. The posts had been deleted. Why do you still keep this screenshot? Liu or Yu Wyan had already walked around the sofa and sat next to me, her body pressed against me. Push yourself. I was stunned, and she leaned close to my ear. It will definitely be better next time. I felt the heat of her body and my face was burning. In fact, there is no need to be better. It's enough. It's already very good, even a little too good. After that day, my legs shook for a whole day. Not enough. She smiled gently, bent over to pinch my chin, and lowered her head for a deep kiss. After the kiss, she panted slightly in my ear. Remember, you said to be responsible to the end. A year later, Liu or Ui and unmarried. On the day of getting the certificate, it rained heavily, and the raindrops fell with the wind and refused to stop. Our UI and went to drive in the rain, and I stood at the door of the Civil Affairs Bureau waiting. Soon she walked through the heavy rain with a black umbrella, and her figure gradually became clear in my sight. She looked at me, her eyes were calm and gentle, and she stretched out her hand to me. Husband, let's go home. I think if I encounter a rainstorm that I can't resist in the future, I don't have to worry anymore. There will always be someone to shelter me from the wind and rain. So I began to feel fortunate that the years are long, and there is always someone who will go through the wind and rain with me and rely on me for the rest of my life.